about consumer habits, and I think naturally with the offer on the market, the number of CTV platforms used or streaming platforms used has grown, so 5 on average. That's even more than the EU average and more than compared to what we saw last year. It naturally has implications for the advertiser because one, it's getting more and more fragmented, and even though I think we didn't think it could get more fragmented, but it does. But also on the more positive note, I think what that brings to an advertiser is more content, more eyeballs that can reach. We know that linear TV is decreasing, more eyeballs are going on those new platforms, so it gives a much wider content offer and a variety of advertising opportunities for the advertiser. So I think it's all about navigating around those different platforms and trying to find the perfect audience for an advertiser. That's going to be critical, and advertisers should be leaning on to their partners, be it an agency or be it an SSP or be it publishers directly, to understand what are these audiences, how can we target them best, and how can we create that reach across all these platforms. AVOD has grown significantly over the last year. I would say the pandemic and people being home has clearly helped bringing having more time on their hands to occupy themselves. Another factor I think is the fact that a lot of SVOD platforms, so subscription-based VOD platforms, who are expensive and who are increasing prices, and there's more and more of these as well. So there comes a point where a user doesn't want to pay 5 subscription VOD platforms, and the content at some point also gets similar, and then they tend to go and look for other platforms where the price point is not an issue. So I think that is definitely something that we've seen, and that we're curious to see how it's going to turn out over the next years. So I think this is going to be the most interesting bit over the next years. SVOD platforms saying they will trial AVOD. I think one, it's really good news for the AVOD platforms already existing. It means that there's potential, there's advertising opportunities. What's going to be interesting, I think, is how these SVOD platforms are going to offer their content and how they're going to use data, which is all the critical bit about targeting specific audiences, where we know that on linear TV you can reach audiences very quickly in a broad way, but the fact that some SVOD platforms have user login, have a lot of data at their hands, how are they going to use it, and is that going to create more value for advertisers? So it's a good thing for AVOD, but I think it's also a tricky one for AVOD because there's going to be more and more competition. So it's definitely good for advertisers because they will have more to choose from. So yeah, let's see how this all plays out.